All right, here we go. So I got a few websites. In fact, we might check them here real quick. Um, let's see. So of course, awful tanker. I get a couple of things. Uh, no sixth sense plus session statistics. You do 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 do. You do 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 do. Not going to listen to music. You're not going to see me point and not talk about stuff because some people, and I know I'm not like I have the greatest voice and can sing a lick, but y'all watch me anyway. But I don't want to. I want to make sure that y'all hear what I'm saying. Um, this one is tank contours. Love this one. Um, so let's see. I'm going to replace this line with what I got. All right, and then I'll go back. And the previous one is, come on, Battle Hits by Tornado. All right. I got it for Hunjai. Yeah, I got it from a different place this time. And then Mark of Excellence. I'll make sure that update these. And I'll try to post them in a thing and then download. Okay, so there's the sites. And so what I've downloaded is a bunch of zip files and RARs. So if I go look at my downloads directory for yesterday, you'll see that I have XVM and this extended marks on gun battle hits, the contour session stat no sense. So I'm going to unzip these things, and when I unzip them, the first one I unzip is this guy. Actually, I already have everything open. All right. So the first task is, now when you get a mod pack from me, you simply go and delete res mods and mods. You delete these two directories. And then when you unzip my mod pack, I'll replace them completely with everything that needs to be in them. So you don't need anything there. Now, if you're making a mod pack, what you want to do is you want to delete the mods. And then, because I have all my edited files inside of res mods, I want to retain the edits. The edits are all under configs. All my edits are here. So I'm going to say old. I'm going to rename this folder config.dat-old. And under here is not much. There's a couple of files under here. Primarily the 6 cents icons under here. And I'm going to list that as old. Now, I don't need anything in either of these folders except my edited files. But I'm just going to preserve these for right now. Okay. I don't need the 1.10.1.1, so I'll get rid of that. And so now I have no mods, and res mods is nothing. The mod pack will put out a rev and a configs and a mods. And so these are, named something else, so they won't collide with what's coming down. All right. Now on the, oops, and I do have these in the wrong order. Dang it. That's no sense. I think I have, I have them in exactly the reverse order. Okay, here's the first one. So, nope, that's not the first one. That's not the first one. That's not the first one. You're not the first one. You're not the first one. All right, we'll go back here. This is my downloads directory. The first one was mod XVM. So I'll open that up. All right. So to start with, what you get from modxvm.com, the XVM package has a complete replacement for the mods folder and the res mods folder. Now, even though I have a res mods, nothing in here will collide anymore. So I'm going to copy these two files. And I'm just going to drag them over. Do not drag them into a folder, or it'll put it inside that folder. We want it at this layer. So you try to drop it on a file, it can't do that, so it drops it into the folder. I guess you could try down here. Now what's going to happen is you're going to see a mods folder pop up. And then, so here we go. There's mods, so it created the mods folder that didn't exist. And under res mods is now the new 1.10.1.1 and the configs and the mods. And you can see my old ones here. All right, now typically I like to go ahead and resolve the conflict, move the new stuff over, because nothing after this will modify it. So in mods old is shared resources, XVM, and under audio WW, I have the 6 Sense sound. Currently, World of Tanks doesn't pull from this folder, but they should. So I always put it there in the hope that someday they'll actually fix and pull the sound from the correct folder. I click here, and I get rid of the word old. So now I'm going to go over to, I copied that file. I'm going to go over to the regular mods folder. Oops. And I'm going to drop that file in and paste. Then I'm just going to go back because that was the previous one. I'll go back. I'll go down to res. So this is XVM. This is World Tanks res mods, mods old, shared resources, XVM, res. And here is my 6 Sense icon. But I also, some people like the Seron, so I copy it as well, and I always move it with my Modpack. If you have a 6 Sense icon that you like to use and you're always replacing it in my Modpack, send it to me and I'll include it and I'll move it and I'll always be there. I'm going to copy those. Again, I'm going to click here on this line, go get rid of the word old hyphen, and paste them here. And that's it. I'm done with the res mods old. So now I will come to our, okay, let's come here. I'm done with the mods old. So now I'm going to hold down shift. I'm just going to clean up that file. And boom, it's gone. Now I've installed a program called WIN merge, W-I-N merge. You'll see it here in a second. I'm going to highlight these two. It's a programmer's package. It's kind of like Notepad, but it's got some additional stuff. I'm going to highlight the new configs and the old configs, which has my mods. I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to choose WIN merge, Windows merge. This is a package that programmers use to merge code that they've written in one area into other code. So I'm going to, and now what it's going to do is it's going to compare the two folders. Left side is config old, the old folder, and the right side is the new folder. And it compares all the files in all of those directories, hundreds of files, and it comes up with only the differences. So it's saying XVM, so I go to XVM. There's no differences here. If I open them up, there's nothing in here. See, it's empty. There's files there, but they're all the same. But under default, so I'm in configs old XVM default, are these 7 files which I have modified. So it says that the text files are different. So I'm going to double click battle.xc, and this opens the 2 config files. Over here on the left shows me a view. And howdy. This shows me a view of the full, representing the full file, how much of my screen covers of the file. So you can see this file is fairly short. And then in the file where there's changes. Now, it tries to sync lines up. So here, where it has 6 Sense duration 200, it does see that over here I have that same line with an 1100, but I have a line here. So it inserts a space saying that these 2 lines fit in this area but are slightly different. So I'm going to click here, hold down the shift and hit the down, alt, and push it over to the other side. So I now copied these 2 lines over here, which meant it inserted a line because it had lined things up. It's a really useful tool. So now these 2 files match, and I'm going to hit Control S to save it, and it turns green. The changes turn green saying these changes have been saved. I'm going to close it. I'm going to go to battle results. Now you'll notice that one of the lines, so I changed, you could just come in here and edit this and say show crew experience true. I'm trying to put my label on it. The /s means that this is a comment, deadme_bc_ and change. So I'm going to grab these two lines and push them over and then save them. So that will show crew defaults. The other one is the 6 cents duration battle. Carousel is how many lines show up at the bottom of the screen. And I have 3 lines. Now, if it's 0, then the game has a selector for 1 or 2. If they had 3, I wouldn't even do this mod. When you do 3, it turns off the selector. So if you want 1 or 2, you have to come edit this file. And then Alt, shove it over there, and save it off. So that's my three lines. If you want more lines, you could change it to 4 or 5 or whatever. Okay, so here is, you can see the file is rather long, and the purple represents how much of it I can see at a time. So I'll look at these changes. So I have the gold locker. The gold locker keeps me for spending gold on things without a confirmation. So if you accidentally click on something that requires gold to buy, a pop-up will come up saying, are you sure you want to spend gold for this? Normally it's false, and so you don't know that you're spending gold for stuff. I'll shove those over. The next one is spending XP for stuff. And so this one would be if you're buying something and it's going to use XP, like free XP, it would just do it. But now because I'm turning it true, it's going to come up and say, are you sure you want to buy this? Now you'll have to be smart enough to realize the reason it's asking you is that you're using free XP. And then the last one is for bonds. So if you buy something that costs bonds, it would just buy it. But this mod makes it confirm that you want to spend bonds. So I'm going to push that over. And then return the crew. Now this return crew, or crew return by default, is what automatically moves crews back into tanks. So if you're used to using one crew for 2 or 3 tanks and you have to go in and click that button that says return crew to tank, this does it automatically. So I'll highlight both of these lines and shove it over. All right. And then I'll just come down here. And the last one is pings to server. Where it shows a ping, they've disabled that. And I like to see if the ping time changes to the server while I'm playing a game. I'll hold this down and I'll shove that over. And now you can see the 2 files are identical. Now the reason I don't just replace the original file with the old file, or the new file with the old file, is they may have introduced some new variables or other changes, and if there were other changes, I would see them and I could review them and decide if I want to keep them or not. I'm going to save this file off, close it. Login has to automatically log into the last server, or to use the last server. It saves what server you were on the last time you were logged in. And this line makes it automatically log in to that server. So this is my auto logon. Save that off. Close that file. Minimap. I like when I hit the control key that it centers it and it zooms it. And so that's what this does. You can, if you don't like that, you can just set that back to false. And I'll save that off. And the last one is sounds. I don't like XVM sounds. I think the game has done a great job with sounds. And there's too many XVM sound packages that have broken sounds. And so so it says sounds enabled is false, means the XVM sounds are not enabled. So it will fall back to the original game sounds. Now, some people download sound packs and they like the sound packs. You'll have to come back and turn this back to true. And I'll save that off. And that's all the changes. I've gone through all of the changes that were different before, and I've applied those changes to my latest files. So at this point, I'm done with config-old. So I can throw that away, and I've cleaned up the directory. Okay, so we're done with the regular XVM. I'll come back up one level. So ResMod, I could play the game right now, and I would have XVM with my changes. All right, but we want extended marks on gun. So here's the download for extended marks on gun, and it has a folder called mods, which is this mods folder. Now that's not always true because there's a mods folder under res mods. So sometimes you have to know. In this case, I know that this one replaces that one, so I'm just going to drop it down here, and it actually put the files up here. I can actually go into mods, And if I go in here, there's a config file that's not in the original one. That configs is there because it wasn't there before, even though I had to show you that. But I'll show you next time. The next one is battle hits. Here's battle hits. And I'll show you. You saw that there was the rev file. There's the rev file, and I'll show you the rev file. The rev file has 3 subfolders and a couple of files. This one here has the rev folder, and it has 3 files that aren't there. Now, I could just drag those files over, by the way, but I'm going to do it the way I like to do is just drag mods over here somewhere. It's putting the files up here. If I go up here and look, those files are there now. And there's those extra files. All right, so now we've got the extended, our battle hits. Next, we want the contours. Here's tank contours. Again, it's the mods file that replaces the original mods file. I'll drop it down here, and it's sticking it up there, and that's done. Now, the next 2 Awful Tankers mods, unfortunately, are the old style. Not faulting him. It's if you don't know how to convert the mods into the new style where it drops in the mods, Wargaming's trying to get everybody to just create mods that drop in the mods folder. Some people are still going into the res mods folder, and Awful Tankers go in the res mods. So I actually have to open up res mods, and if you look at if I open if I open the install file, it tells me to put it in the res mods file. So see, I'm in Games World of Tanks res mods. It's telling me to put it there. That's what the other ones have, an install file that tell you where it goes as well, typically. So I'm going to drop it here, and that's done. And then I'm going to grab the last one. And this one has a couple of folders, so I'll grab them. And I'm going to drag those over. And that's done. Okay, so now all my mods are copied. My mod pack is complete. I'm ready to open the game and test it. So if it was you and you don't care about publishing, at this point you can just simply open the game and run it. But because I publish, what I want to do is so if you open up the res folder, the res folder has, this is where all of the game files are. This is a huge, massive folder. Thousands of files under these trees. I have a thing called res for zips. If I open it up, there's an audio WW and there's a single file. And that's the 6 cents sound because they currently put it in the wrong place. You should never have to modify your res folder, but Wargaming currently requires you to do so. So what I do is I rename the game folder, the actual file folder where all the games are, to new. And then I rename the res for zips so that you get that in the mod pack when I send the mod pack. And then I highlight the mods, the res which only has that one file and it's not the whole game, and then res mods. And there's the entire mod pack. I right mouse click and I 7-zip it and add it to an archive. It keeps throwing stuff off on another screen. And my naming style is WoT-rev. I'm sorry, WoT-rev 1.10.1.1.zip. Now I could put an A. Hey, Jarhead, thank you so much for the bits, man. You're tipping me for doing a mod pack. I know people who'll do that. All right, so I'm going to save this off to this file. Now, if I suspected that the end result wouldn't work, I could say like first attempt, dash first attempt or something, or, first attempt .zip. It's important that you have the .zip suffix because that tells 7-zip what format you want to zip stuff in, and .zip is usable by everybody. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to throw the status over on the left monitor, so I'm going to have to drag it over as soon as I say OK. Here we go. So it's zipping everything up, and now over here, that file just showed up. Now I have a file that I can put up on the on the download site, right? So now that I have it, I'm ready to undo the little changes that make the game not usable. And this one is the 4 zips because I use it for zips. Change the game folder back to res. And now the game's ready to run. Oops. Oh, crap. Did I? Okay, good. All right, so now the game's ready to run, and I have this file, and I'm going to go to Dropbox. I'm going to drop this file up on my download server. So we're going to start the game while I'm doing that so we can do testing. I'm so confident. It's been a long time since a pack I created broke. So I don't do the test version 1, test version 2, or anything like that. I simply go for it. So I'm going to start the game. And there's that thing again. And I'm going to say play, and I'll be able to switch to it as soon as it comes up. I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to open my Dropbox in another screen. Oh wait, I don't need the Dropbox anymore. I've got it mounted. So I'll come here and I have Dropbox. So I'll open up Dropbox and I have the Z other and miscellaneous. And I'll put this over here and Z and other miscellaneous. All right. Now I'm ready to go to my Streamlabs. And I will, there we go, good. It's open in the right window. I'm going to go to my dashboard. And I didn't make a link out of that. I need to go back. So it's here in Z. Let me go there. And it's it's that one right there. That's from today. So if I right mouse click on it, I can do a Dropbox share. Does this pop up? And I say create a link. So I'm creating a link to this file, copy the link. It's now copied. And I can come over here to my commands. I can go down to the Modpack, which has been turned off for a couple of days. I can replace this with the Modpack and take out the $DL equals 0 and confirm it, and then turn that on, and now y'all can do the Dropbox command, exclamation Modpack, or the Modpack command, and now you've got my file. All right, so let's go test it. Thank you, welcome, Oh Boy on Island and Jarhead. I'm going to do one test of this, and then I'm going to restart the game with the correct title. I wanted to do just a Modpack stream. So I'll close that, and go back over here, and I'm going to copy this. All right. And you know what I should have done? I'll show you another way. So we have the 3 lines down here. Aha, and then see we have, this is the extended marks on gun mod. That's working again. It starts up over here, and I like to move it down to kind of balance this line, to kind of weigh it out. We have our battle hits. And so in the garage, and we have a lot of data. So far, everything looks like it's working except in game. So I'm now going to assume it's good. I'm going to end the stream and restart it. Be right back.